Welcome to Aging Gracefully on Suncoast FYI. Each week we talk to different experts and professionals on a wide range of subjects to give you tips and advice on living a happy and healthier life, no matter what age you may be. This week on Aging Gracefully, we talk to Alicia Couri, Dr. Nima Runyon, and Dr. Russell Sampson. Alicia Couri returns this week to talk about the importance of avoiding the sun and what ways we can keep our skin safe from damage. Hi, Alicia.
Hi.
Hi. So we started talking about inception and then posture.
And mixing it up.
And
Yes.
this week it's going to be talking about your experiences and why you chose
21 tips.
Yes, 21 tips, as your book so nicely puts it. 21 tips
to make your 40s look like your 20s. It's interesting because since people kind of see me as someone in my 20s, I started off with 13 tips, and it was just going to be like this little PDF white paper or something. Mm-hmm. And as I really started thinking more about what I did, I thought, well, let me come up with at least 20 tips, because that will sound good. 20 tips to make your 40s look like your 20s.
Yeah, I like
and I ended up with 21. So there are probably more.
Yeah.
So I might come up with a second edition.
There you go, second book.
Yes.
Well, seriously, because everything that you've put in there is so relevant to aging and what we can do to be a better person, better who we are today. But today we're going to talk about the sun and skin damage. What, as a beauty expert, do you recommend that people do to protect themselves, and why is it so important?
Well, sun, those UVB and UVA rays are responsible for the most damage to the skin, sun exposure. Mm-hmm. So they cause wrinkles, they cause hyperpigmentation, they cause sunspots, age spots, and they change the texture of your skin. It changes, the elasticity in your skin. So being out in the sun, baking in the sun, is not good for your skin as you age.
Well, even when you're younger, I mean, and again, I think we should address the younger people out there, because that's when they should start.
You should start from when you're younger. Because when I was, understanding what your skin type is, if you burn easily or not, because some people have the misconception that dark skin doesn't burn, and that's not true.
But you do.
I do. I discovered that when I was 13 years old.
Oh dear, the hard way, right?
The hard way, spending the whole day on the beach with no sunscreen.
Oh my
Well, back then we didn't really use sunscreen.
No.
So, and I got a severe burn on my face, my nose and everything, and I didn't realize that I burn easily. So that is something that you really need to understand. Your skin, do you burn easily? Because then you determine what kind of sun screen or sun block you need to use to protect your skin from being burned.
Okay, now what are some of the quick tips you're going to give us today about that?
So some of the things, I brought my big hat. The first thing, ladies, when you're going out into the sun, wear a big floppy hat. And the bigger the brim, the better, because it covers not just your face, but your neck and your chest. You want to cover this entire area, because hair shows age so quickly. So you want to keep this area
quicker than your face.
Quicker than your face. So you want to keep this area here protected. So wearing a big floppy hat is one of them.
And they have hats now that have the UV protection in them, right?
Not just hats, but that was the other thing. Clothes. Clothes now, for people who are out in the sun a lot. Sports, you're playing sports or anything like that. They have clothes that have ultraviolet protection factor. So you want to look for that UPF symbol on clothes, and it will tell you what value it is. So if it's a UPF value of 50, that means that it's ultraviolet 50 protection against sun. So you want to look at that. There are a lot of manufacturers out there now that are providing clothing that help protect you from the sun. And even if you don't have those that type of clothes, you can wear light colored clothes that reflect the sun instead of absorbing the sun rays.
All good tips. Now what about makeup? Being a beauty consultant, does your makeup come into play?
Yes, there's foundations out there now with SPF protection, but I want to advise you that just because you put a moisturizer on with an SPF and primer with an SPF and then a foundation, you don't combine those SPF protection. What happens is whatever that top layer is, that's the protection you're going to get. So you could have a moisturizer with 25 SPF of 25, but then your foundation is only 15, so you're only going to get that SPF 15 protection. So you have to be aware of that.
And reapply.
And reapply. Reapply sunscreen every 20 to 30 minutes. Sometimes if it's a higher SPF, like SPF 50, you can go an hour or two before you reapply, but if you're going to be in the water, you have to get out and reapply that sunscreen.
Okay. What about people that already have damage to their skin? Is there anything they can do to reverse it?
You need to see a dermatologist. I would recommend going to a dermatologist because they do have tools, they have special lasers and they have special lights that can help reverse damage of sunspots, wrinkles, hyperpigmentation. So you would need to go see a dermatologist for that.
Tell us again a little bit more about your personal experiences. Obviously you got burnt.
Yes, I got burnt in the sun, and so I learned to take care of my skin. I always wear a hat if I'm going out and I'll be out in the sun. I do wear SPF foundation, and my foundation is also waterproof, so it doesn't water resistant. So that's another thing you can look for in your foundation, so it doesn't sweat off or run off, and it stays there. It stays on.
Now, what if people are allergic to sunscreen? What else can they use?
Well, if they're allergic to sunscreen, there are some natural oils that you can use, like carrot seed oil, coconut oils. There's
really,
I have a whole list of different coconut oil, but the warning with that is it does not have a strong SPF protection like a sunscreen does. So you cannot be out in the sun all day if you put on coconut oil or if you put on grapeseed oil or raspberry seed oil. So you have to keep reapplying those.
But there are organic.
But there are organic, yes. You can research that. It's in the book as well. But you can research, what natural oils can help protect you from the sun.
Okay, well, that's my suggestion for today. My tip for today is buy Alicia's book.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next week.
Yes.
Great.
I'll be back.
Please stay tuned. Aging Gracefully on Suncoast FYI will return after a short break.